hands down. I cannot think of a single thing that helps me get set up for the new year better than setting up my new planner. Click like if you agree with me there. So my hope for this video is to have you excited and inspired to set up your new spread planner by the end of this video. Did I already say that? Did I say video twice? If you've already set it up, because it's, like January 8th as I'm recording this, then I still believe that you're gonna walk away inspired and have a few things that you can add or adjust along the way, so you're best aligned to make this your most intentional year yet. So, Captain Obvious here, but this video is walking you through your Sparta Planner setup. Shocking, I know. Even if you have a different planner you're using, this can absolutely still serve you. So here's what you need to get yourself set up. Number one, the biggest thing you need, time. Now, if you can do this all in one chunk, that's awesome. But the reality for a lot of people, moms, caregivers, regular people, is that you don't have big chunks of time, especially now that we're past the holidays and you're probably back at it, whatever that may look like. If you don't have a big chunk of time, then split it up. That's good too. Then you can conserve your energy levels. But you need time nonetheless. So time, so your 2025 planner, whether that's your daily or weekly, both processes are the same. Your 2024 planner, if you had one, your favorite pen. Let me show you my current favorite pen. I don't even know where I got this, but is the Zebra Sarasa R? I don't know if I'm saying that right. This little guy is 0.5. I'm loving it. Seriously, don't know. I think I got it at the planner conference a couple years ago. I just found it to try it. It writes so nicely. I really like this. It's kind of my new favorite. I was using the Papermate Inkjoy 0.7, and after using this other one, I'm throwing this out. It's not bad. I'm probably moving this up to like the family junk drawer. Sorry, Inkjoy. I still loving my Pilot G2. For sure, those are great. Haven't tried it yet, so I will report back. But also by Pilot, the Friction erasable pen. Try it. Don't know. Sorry, I got distracted by pens. Okay, so that's your biggest thing. That's the 4 things. You need your time, your new planner, your old planner, and a pen. Okay, so that's bare minimum. Next level of preparedness is maybe a pencil, if you are a pencil gal or guy. Highlighters, my favorite, although to be fair, I haven't really tried anything else other than in college, and those are like basic ones, but mild liners. Stickers, I may be partial, but I always use my Sparta Planner sticker book here. It's just super functional, so I like using those. But any other stickers that you have, functional or just for design. Also, make sure that you have if you have one, your perpetual calendar handy. This one's super old. It's when I had my old logo. But you can get that for free. It's a printable for free. I have the link below in my notes. So grab that. And then next level is mood setters. I would suggest being in a comfy or cozy space or an inspired space. So if you want to do this, I love a good coffee shop. If you want to do this there, that's a great environment. Someplace in your home that you love, just a place that you feel, relaxed and open and creative, and you can like get some elbow room going on. Go there. Candle is great. Music is great. The right lighting is great. And of course, a beverage. I'm partial to coffee, tea. If you're doing this at night and you want other libations, go for it. So that's what you need. I just want to get your mind wrapped around how we are going to tackle this. So you can think of it in 3 big chunks. Number 1, reflection. Number 2, prep pages. And number 3, your calendar pages, like your January through December calendar pages. So those are the 3 chunks. As you can probably see in this video slide bar, am I getting close to it? I'll make sure that this video has clear chapters so that you can easily navigate the sections that you need. If you want to follow an order, great. If you want to start somewhere else, then you can jump to that chapter. However, I would at least highly advise that you start with reflection. So we're going to start there. Reflection. There's a section in the back of your planner behind the December reflection that is devoted to year-end reflection. So if you don't have a practice, I think this is a great, thoughtful way to go about doing this. This is actually expanded. 2025 is an expanded reflection from the 2024 and previous planners. So go ahead and get into your year-end reflection. I will show you mine from 2024. just to show you how written it is. So this is my reflection section. So I filled it out, and it's great to follow along with there, but you can go ahead. So I suggest starting the first thing you do with reflection. I think the first thing, no matter what system you do, is to go over your calendar, go through your monthly calendars, and just look at, this is daily, so this doesn't start, but just look everything that happened in your calendar. And then go through, again, I'm not going to show it, but go through your monthly reflection, read through those. If you have a weekly reflection, that's great to go through. I reflect daily, as you can see here, most days, but that would be kind of a lot to go through. But you can absolutely do it. I like to do looking at your calendar, reviewing that monthly reflection, the weekly reflections, and then I like to start filling in what was memorable for that month. And then I go through month by month, January through December, and writing that down. However, if you just really want to get the top highlights, you can go through your entire year all at once and then write down the ones that really stuck out to you. But I like doing it month by month. Another great thing is to go through your phone photos and look through all the photos that you took this year. That is such a fun way to go through memory lane as well and conjure up all those great memories. But the goal here is to really just write down a summary. Like you saw, I just did bullet lists and small incomplete sentences of the things that were really memorable and that I wanted to remember, or that stuck out to me, or that were really cool this year. So just writing that down on here, and then just keep following the prompts. Mostly it's going to be, what are you proud of? What were you challenged by? And what I love about when I designed this is I wanted to make sure that your yearly reflection really reflected your year. Here, again, these are a little bit different than the 2024 ones that you'll be doing if you have the 2024 Spread of Planner, but it's going back to, in the beginning pages of this planner, you wrote your hopes for the year. Read it again. Did it come to fruition? Write about it. Monthly reflection. In each monthly reflection, you listed what you struggled with. Are there recurrent themes? Review where you're feeling challenged or worried. How did it turn out? It goes back. It really ties in everything and looks at that big picture. So I really love that. There is a smaller version of favorites of the year in 2024. I expanded it for this year, which I'm really excited about. But it's just fun to then go through, put to your favorite, what's your favorite song, your favorite movie, things like that. So this, I have to say, as I was reflecting on 2024, it took me a good 2, maybe 3 hours to do my reflection portion. So that is what took me the longest to do. And then once I set up my pages, I think because I had been thinking about it leading up to this, on top and everything else, that I kind of flew through the prep pages. That may not be your experience, but the bulk majority of my time was really during that yearly reflection piece. But I think it's so important because that allows you to close the year, put that away, and then you can focus on the year ahead. So it's just like a great closure practice that allows you to refocus for the year ahead. So once you've done that year-end reflection, then we're ready to set up our planner. The purpose of this video, I am using the Sprout Planner weekly. As you can see here, we have January through December. It's just one planner. The daily planners come in 2 planners. It's broken up half years in one, half the years in the other. The prep pages are going to be almost identical, except for one thing that I'll point out once we get there. But just because it's simpler, I'm going to use the weekly planner here. So this is the Pied Pebbles cover, and there's 4 other beautiful cover offerings as well. So let's get into it. Crack open your planner. We're not going to worry about this pocket right now, but there's a pocket in the front. That will be the last thing we'll do. So the first thing is the most nerve-wracking piece. Is writing down your name and your contact info. So, I mean, you get one shot. I mean, what if you write too close here and then you have too much? What if you write too big and you run out of space? It's just so much pressure. Okay, but here we go. And then you write down how you want to be contacted if the planner is found. I usually put my phone number. But we get to fill this out together, so get to mock it up. Next pages, it's a let's do this together. If you are brand new in the planner, you can read through all of this. My welcome letter, how to use this planner, kind of what's it about. And then we get into values. On this side, it just talks about values, how important they are because they are the operating system of your life. I talk about the flow that you should be doing of how you should know your values, your core values. From there, that's where you create your intentions based off of those values. And then off of those intentions is where you should be creating your goals. So that's the flow here. And then a lot of these prep pages, I have the Be Intentional section. Here is your marching orders. So it's identify your 5 to 6 core values. You would put them here. Once you have those, list your intended actions to fulfill each of those values. So again, it's what do you intend to do to live out that value? And I'll kind of go through a run. I'll fill this out just with some mock ones right now so you can see that. If you are goal setting, then you would choose a goal based off of that intention. But let's fill some of this out for some examples. I should note here, if you are coming up short of what your values are, or you want to practice to do this, there is a free workshop over on YouTube that I hosted in October that runs you through how to identify your core values. So I think it's about 45 minutes and that includes working time. You can download the worksheets. I run you through how to identify those in a couple different ways. Highly recommend if you haven't done it. I am getting great feedback that was super helpful to people. I think if you look up values online, it's gonna say things like integrity, responsibility, adaptability, generosity, and these are all amazing values. So I think that is kind of the technical definition of values there, of nailing that down. But also if that doesn't resonate with you, then you can just really pick your own. And so for me, most of my values don't quite fall into what would probably look like on your standard value list. They could probably like ring up under an umbrella, under one of those umbrellas. But for me, it just resonates better, the kind of things that I identify them as. Also a note here, if you are new here, next we're going to talk about people. So if you want, you can put people down here. If you, of course, they are high value, but there's a section directly for them. If you still want to put, like my people or my home team on here, that is completely fine. And then you'll be able to kind of break that out more here. It's really up to you on how you want to do that. So for me, I put my marriage on here. So even though my husband is a person that I also put on here, I value my marriage. And I have big intentions around that. So that was a value I put down here that has to do with people. So that's just an example of that. Here, I'll walk you through kind of just an example of it to give you an idea. So let's say these are my core values here. At my core, if I did not have this as a part of my life, like I would feel really lost not having one of these as part of my life. They're just really integral. They matter a lot to me. I'm calling these my core values as an example. Then let's create an intention off of that value. Okay, so for curiosity, an intention could be that I intend to allow space and grace to dig deeper into the things that interest me. It'd be maybe in the past, as like a curious person, I always felt bad when I was going down the rabbit holes of something that was super interesting to me, and I felt like it was wasting time, but actually, curiosity is a core value. So I am going to allow that space and I'm going to give myself grace to dig deeper into that because that matters to me. And then a goal off of here could be, that could be a goal. That's like measurable, it's concrete, as with the time limit of the year. That is kind of what that looks like. Value, intention, goal. So for community, my intention is to Okay, so for community, intention, spend time developing the relationships and sense of community in my neighborhood. That's your intention. A goal could be, to set up a monthly coffee date with the moms of the neighborhood. Okay, I'll do one more for growth. So growth is core value, and intention could be, your intention could be take classes, retreats, and listen to podcasts / read books on the subject of health and productivity. So that's what you intend to do. You really want to grow this year. It's a value for you to continue to grow in your life. And so what you intend to do to make that value happen is you intend to immerse yourself in these things that will allow you to do that. So classes, retreats, podcasts, books, etc. And then a goal could be, I don't know, identify 12 books to read for the year. So again, that kind of aligns with that. It's measurable, it's specific, it's attainable if you read one book a month, etc. So that is what this is going to look like. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, check out that workshop if you want to dive deeper into the value part. It doesn't talk really about intentions, but if you have your value, I think you can flow from there. Next, we move to our people. I created a Sprouted Planner with these 4 pillars in mind: intention, reflection, people, simplicity. So people are one of the main pillars because people are so integral to our life. Really, we are built to be in relationship. They are incredibly important. And I think in a world that is so busy that it is kind of tricky to connect with our people in a meaningful way. So I just really wanted to bring this to the forefront, bring intention to your people, and not just everyone you know, but really focusing on that home team. And it's like the people, your core people. It's your middle of the night people. You get a flat tire. It's the people you just want to surround yourself with. It's people you spend the most time with. It's the people that you want to invest your life into and that come most naturally. Typically, this looks anywhere from 10 to 20 people. You don't want to go crazy. I think it totally depends on the type of person you are, but you only have so much time. So the more people you add, the more thin your time becomes and the less time you can spend with certain people. And so you just want to keep that in mind. You can read about the people here in your home team here. The intentional part is to list your home team up here. So each name goes in this gray box, however much you want to fill it in. And then below each person, you're going to realistically, keyword there, list out how and how often you'd like to invest your time into each person. For example here, I always have my husband as this first one. And then I always put we kind of came up with this saying like the Army reserves, but we put marriage reserves here because it represents, do you remember it's like join the Army reserves, serve 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year, or something like that. So we really strive to connect some way away from the kids, 1 time a week, 1 day a month. So we try to do like a more expansive date day per month, and then 2 weekends per year, like couples get away 2 times a year. I do put my kids on here, but just for example of this, I put my mom on here. Something I've done with my mom that I intended last year is I had coffee with her 1 time per month. I talked to her way more than that. I saw her more than that, but 1 intended time, I dropped the kids off. I would go over there way earlier than she would ever like, but I would get over there and we would just have coffee together, and it would end up being 4 hours every time, which is great. And you don't have to do it that long, but I really grew in relationship with my mom. It was one of my favorite parts of 2024. And it was because I wanted to spend more time with her. I made that an intention and I made it happen. And that has been a huge blessing in my life. So you put your person there, and then again, you're not saying this is the only time I want to see them. It's just like you want a thoughtful time for that. So you do that for everybody. That is your people. Coffee break. Reminders. So this is the pregame section before you commit things to your monthly, weekly, and or daily plans. So there are 2 different sections here. As you can see, we have like a quadrant, quartet, what other 4 word that means 4 things, and then you have your monthly layout here. In previous versions, I had the seasons labeled here, but I took that off of there and I left that blank because people may not want to do things seasonally, or you may live in Arizona where it isn't super seasonal. I live here in Minnesota. I know it's hard to tell with my flawless non-accent. just kidding. It's like so thick. Ridiculous. You guys, the number of times I say, oh, excuse me, when I go into a store is embarrassing. Oh, we say it. It's not a myth. It's an absolute integral part of our vocabulary. Anyways, you can do quarters here, quarter 1 through 4. You can do seasons here, like areas, personal, business, health, finances, whatever you want to do here and break it out here. I went with season again this year because I like to a little mix of like a seasonal chores that we have to do and a seasonal bucket list. But alas, I did, because we are just perpetually in winter here, it seems like. Winter, spring, summer, fall. I'm gonna grab my color dot here and say, so let's say that we wanted this to be a seasonal bucket list. So you can grab your fun color, whatever color you want that represents that season. And you could say for winter, go sledding, which is really hard because we've only had one meaning for snow that's already melted. It's January. What is happening in this state? Go sledding. Okay, so you could fill that out. Actually, this year I could, if I really wanted to, we've gone sledding during our one snow time. We have had a lot of hot chocolate. Finally brought the kids out ice skating. Look at us, we're moving right along. So you could do that for this side. And then this side of your reminders, I like using this kind of reminders. So here, I'll show you in my actual set out. Here's what I chose for my cover for January through June. Look at this, gave me such intense feelings. I haven't even filled that out yet. Let's see, reminders. Okay, so here's what I did. I like to do, once I turn to my new month, so each month you will have a small reminder list here that will reference these front pages. So we've talked about values, talked about people, and then the reminders here is to reference your reminders and see what you want to schedule into that month. That's what's handy about this checklist, is I can kind of pre-plan ahead what I want to do for this month or what I need to do to prep in this month, and then, but I don't need to add it yet. So I can then figure out how to add it in here. So for January, I have check dates for registration for We Go Camping, and then the kids are in summer camps. That always happens around January, February. So I got to get those dates down. Instead of Christmas cards, I send Valentine's cards. I got to get those orders and then plan my daughter's birthday. February, I need to send the Valentine's cards. I need to get Gracie's invites out, etc. So that is what I do, just like my brain dump of like, okay, I'm always kind of looking ahead. Okay, what is going on the next month that I have to do the month before? So I lay it all down, and then when I get to this month in question, I can go back here and be like, okay, I added that. Checkbook, check/book registrations, etc. Next up, we have our year list. So more than pie in the sky dreams for the year list is actually a practice of intentionality. And I have here, a year goes by faster than we think. It goes by so dang fast. And so if we don't kind of intentionally lay out what we want to have done and experienced, a lot of it doesn't happen. So you can make this as fun or as meaningful or a mix of this that you want. But the whole point of this is kind of like your bucket list of what do you intend to do this year? What's important for you to accomplish or experience? So here's some ideas to get those juices flowing. So you could do special projects, skill development, experiences, trips you want to take, or even things like if there's special coffee places you've been meaning to go to or restaurants. Feelings, like is there a dominant feeling you want to feel this year, such as peace or energized or present, joyful. Financial markers is a great one. Connections, are there certain people you want to connect with? Habits that you want to form or break? Are there business adventures you want to branch out to? I just talked about that. Places to try out. Are there reading goals you have? Are there kid goals you have, from potty training to college tours? Things I kind of talk about things to stop doing, things to start doing, kind of along the lines with habit. So the possibilities are endless. Okay, I can show this. I laughed at one. Okay, so this is what I have so far. Again, I'm trying to go simple. I'm not trying to pack my year in. I have enough to do just with this business. So this is what I've started with. But I have no idea what to do if anyone gets hurt. So I really want to take first aid course. And I went to, I don't know what it is. I signed up for it. I paid for one. I just got to do it. It's online. And I paid for the book to come with it. Because I have a boy. And actually my girl is more risk-taking than my boy. But I know that there's going to be cuts and breaks and things that will happen in their lifetime. And right now, I think just cry is my first line of action. And so I want to make sure I know what to do. Okay, family pictures. I want to do that in the fall. I want to have a solo weekend away. I am an introvert. Actually, I'm actually kind of in the middle, but with kids and just being in my business all the time, that I don't get any introvert time. So I really want to take a solo weekend away where I'm not working. I want to take 2 Christian retreats. Those really fill up my bucket, one in the winter, one in the fall. I want to learn how to do my hair because right now I know how to straighten it. And I know how to put it in a ponytail. So I just want to learn how to I bought this curling iron, this unique one last year. I haven't touched it yet. So I want to learn how to properly kind of curl my hair and blah, blah, blah. Also, I want to learn how to powder my eyebrows. I know how to, it's subjective, I guess. But I know how to use a eyebrow pencil and fill it in. And then they just turn out different every day. And so I really want to see that there's people use like a actual powder with a very fine brush. I'm wondering if that would be faster and more consistent. So I want to learn how to do that. So that's my year list. And then, so you do your year list and then you look over here at your hope for the year. So really, I just give this a super wide open prompt. Opposite of the year list page is your hope for the year. As you can see, it's a blank lined page with a prompt. What are your hopes for the year ahead? So judging by the number of people who declare this is going to be the best year ever, I would say people have some hopes and expectations of the new year. So write those down. Don't edit yourself. It's good to know what your hopes and expectations are for the year. It can help you assess if they are realistic or what actions or like mindset changes you need to take to either fulfill those hopes, like if possible, or if you need to shift your expectations in a life where things happen. As you saw in the reflection section, and I pointed out before, you'll then at the end of the year look back on this and be able to reflect on how and if your hopes came to fruition. So I think this is also a great prompt too to help you forward plan. So if you just like openly journal what your hopes are, how can you make that happen? Okay, so I think that is really the biggest, meatiest brain power that you have to do for your prep list, because then we move into calendars, holidays, and trackers. So we have our 2025 calendar at a glance here. Now, I know some people use this very creatively. This is where you can whip out your highlighters, and a lot of people like to track school schedules for their kids, or, if you're in the school system, vacations you have. So you could be trackers. Maybe it's just simply your menstrual cycle tracker. People put their shifts or time off on here if you have kind of shifty schedule. Is that how you refer to it? So a lot of people do this. They fill it out. No, I didn't. Did I? I don't know. I think I tried it one year and it was interesting, but it didn't really serve me well. So I don't really do much with this, but I know people really deck this out. If you do use highlighters, just quick note, remember to make a key for yourself up here, so you remember what the colors are for. A note about U.S. holidays and observations. I say every year, I try to make this as inclusive as possible, but I didn't want to take up multiple pages. There's some holidays that I am very ignorant on, that it depends on like the timing of the year before, or there is something tricky about it. So when I try to look it up and include it, it's just not quite set yet. So when I'm producing these, I'm like, I may be putting down the wrong date and I get all up in my head. So I try to make it a very inclusive big list, but I know that it is not ever adequate enough to cover everything and everybody. who needs it. So that's why I put the things down here. If there's really important dates that I missed, please put them down here. And please know it is not because I don't care about you or that I'm trying to push a certain agenda or anything. Then we move into this yearly tracker here. So as you can see here, we have January through December, 1 through 31. I think this is the biggest thing that differs. In the daily, we have, in the daily, I just put January through June here. And then in the daily, this is from 2020. And then in the second half of the year, obviously, this is from 2024, but it still doesn't matter. I put then the second half of the year in here. So it's just broken out. Okay, so you have this open calendar. This was requested by Rachel. Shout out to Rachel. This will make a great tracker for things you want to measure across the year. So here are some great ideas. Doctor visits, kind of a lot. It's kind of going to be repeat of things you can measure on here, but doctor visit, menstrual cycles, moods, symptoms. I know a lot of people use this as who suffer from chronic migraines or pain, that they put it down on here and they track it that way. Habits, medications, finances, reading or devotionals. You could do like a cleaning schedule here. You could do kids stuff on here. Vacations you could put on here. You could just kind of fill in your vacations and schedule. You could use this as a high-level planner, mapping out your vacations and projects and launches, etc. Meal planning is the bane of my existence. So I am going to be tracking my meals across here in hopes that I can just come up with like a monthly tracking and maybe just laying out in advance meals on here. And so that I have an idea, I can go back on and be like, these are the dinners we always eat. And then I can just pull from here. So that's what I'm doing. These grayed out areas are just weekends. Your 2026 calendar. So this is the bridging the gap between planners. I know once we start getting into the later months that plans start popping up for the next year, or people want to start planning. This is a great place to do that. And then that way it's safely stored until you get your next year's planner and you can move it there. In the daily planners, your bridging the gap is right next to that blank monthly. And so you have your July through December, so you don't have to carry around your other planner with you. And so you can put all your plans here as they crop up. And then when you move into that planner, if that is something you do, you have that easily accessed there. And then in that one, we'll see. This is the second half of the year, just from last year. And then you have your next year's calendar. And then you have 4 blank pages, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 2 lined pages, blank line pages, and then 2 dot grids. You can put here in here whatever your little heart desires. In case you are blank with ideas, thank you. Here are some ideas. So you can put your routines, your ideal routine in the morning, evening, kid routine, etc. Dinner ideas, if you have like go-to dinner ideas, books, movies, or shows to read or watch. Alternatively, a list to keep track of the ones you've already read or watched. You can do habit tracking here, goals. You can set up your goals here, your medical tracking, budgeting. If you set up like a color coding system in your planner, you can write that key here. So lots of possibilities. For me, I have to fill it in, but I have the outline done. So I'm using one page for my ideal schedule. So I have 2 very distinct parts of my life. I feel it's like during school, and I want to put my morning routine all the way up to 9 o'clock, or kind of my broad level batch focus things Monday through Sunday. And then we have summer, and that is a whole different ballgame. So 2 different things here. I may fill this out, and then once we get closer to summer, fill that out here. So I'm doing an ideal schedule. I don't know what I'm going to do with these other 2 pages yet. I may do nothing. That's just fine too. You get into your monthly calendar spreads. I'm going to do a whole video on this monthly dashboard here and what to do with it. As you can see, let me just show you what I've done with mine so far so you can be inspired. Absolutely nothing, but I've come up with ideas. So I'm going to film a video and we're gonna figure this out together. But we're not doing that right now. We're setting up our planner. So now we can move into our pages here. And this is where we're going to pre-fill out all the things we know. We know people's birthdays and anniversaries. If we have, this is great, if you have your Bridge the Gap calendar from your previous planner, you can move all this stuff into here. I also like to include the kids' days off from school. I like to include the sports schedules that I know, appointments. If you have on-call dates, like fill that out. So for birthdays and anniversaries, special dates here, this is where that perpetual calendar comes in so handy. Again, I will put that link below for you to grab it. If you don't have one, this will be kind of double duty for you, but you have your kind of key people's birthdays in here. You can grab this and then you can include it down on here. Let me show you my setup here. I will also talk about what I've been doing. I use in our sticker book, I use little birthday icons, or actually I don't have any birthdays in January. I just have someone's anniversary, and one of them, our friend Chris and Jamie. Jamie loves orange, so I chose the little orange heart. But February is chock full of birthdays and anniversaries, and some that I didn't even get on here yet. Let me show you. Here we have a whole page of little celebrations. We have birthday cakes and little blowy horn celebration thingies, hats, clinkies. So you can use any of these for your like birthdays or anniversaries. But then we just have stuff like if you're going to a concert or a show. We have hearts here if you want to note people's anniversaries or little dates. Again, you could do concerts. We have little plate setting for meals if you want a meal plan, or if you are going out to dinner or breakfast or something with somebody, you could put that there in front. Coffee dates, etc. So whole bunch of little icons that when you are planning, you can add a little flair to your plans. So I started doing this. I really like this, putting just little dots. You can have those here. Again, in the very back, you have little icons, flags, dots here. This year, this is matte and writable. Same in the sticker book, except for the icons. The icons are glossy, but all these upfront ones, you can write right on here. But I love coming up with kind of some colors. Last year, I changed them every month to kind of match. As you can see, this is kind of like pinky theme. And January is more, well, for swimming, I put kind of aqua. And then I just chose that kind of dark gray for my appointments and stuff. So I've been changing every month. I'm thinking of possibly just sticking with one thing, but we'll see. Anyways, so I think it just looks really cute to put a little dot sticker there. I think it fits really nicely in these lines, and then put it there, and that just looks like it. Let me show you. Like November, we did this. And I think the more you color code, if you know your color coding system, it just helps your brain go, okay, I see we have a lot of swimming on here. We have some appointments. It just it's like a shortcut for your brain. So I am a big fan of color coding. I don't quite have a system down, like I said, yet. I would like to do that, but for the meantime, I'm just having fun with these dots and having that be a little pop of color and organization here. So go in and fill out all of your calendar pages with this. Like I said, as much as you want. Maybe you just like doing that for every month ahead. Maybe that is your thing. I like at least doing all the birthdays. Getting the birthdays, the anniversaries on here, and then kind of the dates that I know. But as you can see here, I did all the swimming dates. And then come February, I didn't do that. So I'm like, ugh, I will just do that when I set up February. But I do have all my no school dates, when they do spirit wear, the holidays, things like that. And last, this is the ceremonious passing of crap from one pocket to the next. I wish I actually did that. I've already moved my crap into my new planner, but No, this is like a great time to just go through whatever's in your pocket, look through it, sort through it, and then put it in there. What crap I like keeping in my pocket is that perpetual calendar. As you can see, I thoughtfully fold it up so that it's nice and even. What is this? Anyways, and then just like a smorgasbord. I have my library book of, this is, how geeky is this? My kids check out look at this. My kids check out so many books. And then there's ones they don't read or want to keep or want to renew. So that's the highlighted ones. And then I need to go through and make sure that I got all the ones so that this is a whole thing. This is like one full work day to just maintain this. Not really, but anyways, I have this because when it comes due, I need to do this whole rigmarole. I have a farmer's market situation notice in here. I have my bookmark in here, my stencil bookmark that comes with every planner because I like using these little ones. They add that color. They're fun. And then my stencil just goes in there. This is their school schedule. And what else? Oh, I have a project list. I've moved over and I don't have it in here. I don't know where it went. I must have taken out to references, but usually I have my reflections from the summer before in here. The time goes so fast and I need to reference that so I can plan my summer ahead as I'm panicking about what the heck we're going to do for 3 months. So once you do this, you've done it. I'm so proud of you. It's a labor of love for sure. And I'm sure you're exhausted and you probably need a nap. But before you do that, do this. So shut your newly set up planner and with your hands still on top of it, take a deep breath. And say a little prayer for the year ahead. If praying isn't for you, a little affirmation that whatever this year brings, you have everything in you to face it. Perhaps the serenity prayer is perfect to end with. And if you are coming up blank, I've included both a prayer / blessing and an affirmation in the notes below. That's it, friends. If you chose Spread a Planner to be your planner this year, can I just say thank you so much? I know how many options you have. I know that it was not a small investment, and I am so grateful that you chose Spread a Planner to be your planner this year. Your support means the world to me, and it's the only reason I can keep doing this. More than anything, I hope your Doom Planner supports you in everything life has to throw at you this year, that you are able to be super intentional with your time so that you can end 2025, no matter what happens, to say, I was here for it, I was present for it, I did not run away from it, and I did what was really important. I just hope this planner supports you in everything this year has to offer. If you still need a planner, there are still more in stock. So just head to sproutedplanner.com and grab whichever one is best for you there. Lastly, I am super curious. What is your favorite section to set up in your planner? Is it values, people, reminders? Is it the calendars, tracker, holiday part? Is it the front pages? Is it filling out your calendar spreads? Is it passing over your crap from one pocket to the other? What is your favorite part of this? Maybe it's just like being done with it and just feeling super motivated and ready to start the year. So I would love to hear what your favorite part is. Okay, thank you so much for spending your precious time watching this video. I do not take that for granted. Stay tuned for next week's video where I talk about my 2024 reflections, both for Spread a Planner business and personally. The good and the not so good. I will see you then. Oh, I just noticed. Look at that. I've read through this a million times. This used to be a grid and I just noticed an error. So I didn't change it.